Hello everyone and welcome to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn as the Sun Devils play their final two games of the regular season here at home at Mountain America Community Iceplex on the Arizona State campus. Sun Devils play host to the Grand Canyon University Lopes. Sun Devils coming in with a lot of momentum. The first time in 7 years winning the Cactus Cup against their arch rivals, University of Arizona Wildcats. Winning the Cactus Cup means Arizona State won the regular season series against the Wildcats. Again, a great achievement for this team that they can really take with them, especially as we had senior night tonight as well. And a lot of them were really saying that Cactus Cup victory was one of their accomplishments that they're going to remember forever. Into the weekend, both of these teams played in Arcadia last weekend, where Grand Canyon ended up defeating Arizona State, the Lopes, with head coach Danny Roy. Maybe their best year at the Division I level. They're ranked 13th in the top 25 for the ACHA, so it's going to be a tough contest for Arizona State to combat Grand Canyon University. And folks, we'll bring you live first period action in just a couple minutes here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube.
You all please rise if you are able. Kindly remove your caps and join us as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And folks, before puck drop, we'll introduce you to tonight's starting goaltenders. For the visiting Grand Canyon University Lopes, it'll be number 30, Dmitro Kubritsky, the Ukrainian native. And for the Sun Devils in net, it's going to be number 29, Hayden Manning. Grand Canyon University sporting some new jerseys. Primary colors are purple and black, but ended up wearing more of the black uniforms tonight. And for the Sun Devils, it'll be in their traditional white home uniforms.
I didn't recognize him at first.
Yeah, and that's the voice of Dr. Ben Smith, the production extraordinaire. And as well, Ben, they were talking about before the game that you could actually bid on Arizona State game used jerseys. You can go on the social media account or on the website, and all proceeds to those gold jerseys being auctioned. That's a tough chance for Grand Canyon University right away. Those jerseys in the auction, all proceeds going back to the Arizona State program.
Notably, at the intermission, you'll see a QR code that allows you to also contribute to the program.
Puck will get thrown back down. Manning will play it. It's an all-senior starting five for the Sun Devils out right now with Ty Marchand, Kate Olson on the back end, and then Ben Chase centering this line with Connor Squeary and Carson Cooch. And there's a nice ceremony. A lot of the family in town tonight being honored as well. It takes a village to go ahead and foster a great environment for where these Arizona State players are playing today. Tonyez pins his man into the corner. Trevor Kennedy looking for some help from one of his wingers. He can't get it. Freshman Anthony White will get that puck out with some help from Ryan Quast.
That was a nice ceremony. I apologize for those that were hoping to tune in early and catch it. They caught us off guard. They actually did it before the ice cut, so weren't quite ready for them. Hopefully some parents got it on video.
Yeah, and a great job, too, by the social media team all year. Looks like they were able to snap some photos and videos of the occasion as well.
They usually get a better perspective of stuff like that than I do anyway, so.
Gainer works it up to the point for the Lopes. Quick point shot on, and Manning snags it. That shot from the defenseman, Colby Jacquet. Jake King in the face-off circle. He wins it, trying to get to the defenseman Sovasky, but he blows a tire. Hunter Friesen plays it up to Jake King, and they'll come in with some speed, and they chip and charge into the corner. Puck will get popped up, and the Lopes spend minimal time in their own zone. Raiden Olsen trying to work that puck up, but it gets turned over. Pardon me, that's Tyler Misalik. And both teams will go for a change. King will try and retrieve that dump in. He will. Takes a hit in the process and loses possession of the puck. Here come the Lopes back in. Protecting it is Mikhailin Peltier. Peltier still with it up at the point. Played back down low. Up to Ledin. Cycling it down. Up at the point again. The one-timer shot took a redirection. A high tip way out in front of the goaltender Manning, and that gave him enough time to freeze the puck.
It would look like it was going wide.
And definitely that could have been the case, but Manning trying to utilize the game and his hockey sense to get a new whistle to get some fresh guys on the ice. Connor Squarey in hard on the forward check. He's actually got a media degree from Arizona State, and he's looking to go to work back in his native New York. Quick shot on, saved by Manning. Snapshot at time by the forward Wardis for Grand Canyon. Surchek trying to settle that puck down. Play back in the corner, gets rimmed around to the weak side at the point. Lopes go D to D. Another point shot on, gets blocked into the corner by Olsen.
Good deflection.
Tate Olsen got the turnover, but there's an errant pass as he was trying to clear the puck out, and it goes all the way down for an ice.
There's a run of that shot from earlier, and that deflection by Olsen.
And a ton of bodies in front, too. That's a great camera angle from Dr. Ben Chase, Ben Smith, and getting my Bens mixed up here as...
Yeah, I take it as a compliment. Good.
Yeah, definitely Ben Chase, again, one of those 5 seniors being honored before the game. And his favorite memory from his time at Arizona State was playing with his brother, Luke Chase, the defenseman. Squarey, great job on the forecheck. He had that initial shot, missed wide of the net. Kylie Ram snapshot on, that gets deflected into the corner. Luke Chase gets some help from Carson Cooch to keep that puck in. Descharnes plays in the corner to his brother Ben. Chip off the glass. Can't get it advanced past the neutral zone, then the Lopes will come back in. So far, the Lopes have done a good job of keeping Arizona State out by the perimeter and not allowing any grade A scoring chances so far.
Yeah, that's very reflective when you look at the shots on that. Even though it's only 1-on-3, that 3 was majority control in the offensive zone for the Lopes.
Ben Chase will collect the turnover. Desharman there as well. He plays the body. Puck will come back all the way around to the other side of the zone. A good back check, though, by Ben Chase. He'll slow it down and try to finish off a change. Pass out of the reach for Newland. And here comes Grand Canyon back in. Great defensive play by one of the other seniors, Ty Marchant, of poking that puck away from the GCU forward. Matt Keeler gets pinned to the wall, trying to get the puck out in front. He gets some help from Carter Newland. Newland trying to find the one-timer pass to the Villers. Unsuccessful. They go D-to-D. Tonez gives it back to Newland. The Villers one-timer shot misses wide. Kept in by Tonez. Newland's pass goes behind Keeler. Good spell for Arizona State on this shift. Draw pass to Marchant. Keeler trying to get it back to Marchant in front, but just didn't have enough juice on it. And GCU will clear it. About to finish off a quick change, though, as Marchant comes streaking back in. Snapshot high, almost handcuffing Kubritsky, and that puck will go out of play.
So that's the momentum shift that I think the Sun Devils needed. I think all they needed for you was to say something about it, and it shifted. Now we're 4-3 shots on that in favor of the Sun Devils.
Right on there, partner. Yeah, the Sun Devils, when they really needed a shift to try to get some momentum in this game, ended up coming up with it. But the Lopes will come back in after winning that defensive zone draw. Jake King pins his man to the wall. But it looks to be a penalty being committed as that puck is touched up. And looks to be a high sticking call. And we'll see who's going to be heading to the box.
Let's see if right there, I think.
Yeah, looked to be just when that puck was moved from the corner. And looks to be a call against Grand Canyon.
GCU minor penalty, number 25, Braden Olson. 2 minutes for high sticking.
So Braden Olson commits a penalty offensive zone, which is never a good thing.
Your Sun Devils.
And the Sun Devils are now on the man advantage. Clean win by the Lopes. Dumps it all the way down. Kills off about 15 to 20 seconds of this power play opportunity. Marchant gets the pass back. Backhands that one through. Comes up to Kylie Ram. Marchant lays a big hit on the Lopes player, and Ben Chase was unable to react properly and couldn't keep the puck in. Allows Grand Canyon to change up their penalty killers. Jake King on this left side protects the puck. Comes out with it. He's battling 2 or 3 Grand Canyon players, kept in by Marchant. Past the halfway point of this power play, and that's cleared down by the Lopes. Marchant has to get on his horse as he's getting some pressure from Wardis. Wardis trying to walk out with it, and Jake King's able to come to the rescue to help his defenseman out. Sun Devils seem to be outmanned, which is tough to do when you have the man advantage nearby the puck. Sun Devils enter in onside. Comes back around to Carter Newland in the corner. Skates up to the point, waits. Kate Olson gives it right back to Newland. Newland. Deviliers couldn't handle the pass. And that's cleared into the GCU bench, and so with 8 seconds left, face-off will be in the Grand Canyon zone, and definitely have to play heads up even if you're on the bench.
And think about the coaches that sit on the bench. They don't have to wear the helmets or anything.
No, but they don't have any protective gear either.
No.
Descharm gets his shot blocked.
GCU is back in full.
Tonya just keeps it in. Snapshot on. Rebound in front for Descharm. Centered about back in front. Grubritsky had to fight that shot off, but he does just enough as the Lopes are back to full strength. That dump in gets committed before they hit the center ice red line, and so there'll be a icing call and a face-off back in the Lope zone. Not too much for Arizona State on that power play to really gain from. Lopes in their own zone. Anthony White, great job to kick the puck back in. It'll come to Lopes' stick. Lopes was a momentary delayed offside, but Kaner ends up being a little too aggressive, and that forced the linesman to blow the whistle down.
Look, there was some conversations happening between the Lopes and the lineman there.
Yeah, I think
that play.
Yeah, I think maybe some confusion in terms of what the actual call was. Kylie Ram does a great job to win the draw, even though he was being thrown down. And it looks to be another penalty, and it's going against Grand Canyon. As Schwartz will be heading to the box for GCU, and the Devils will go right back to the man advantage.
ACU minor penalty, number 43, Michael Schwartz, 2 minutes for tripping. Schwartz 2 for tripping, time of the penalty, 9:59 remaining in the first period. Your Sun Devils are on the power play, fueled by the husband and wife.
Looks to be the second power play unit out for the Sun Devils, as we have a 3-man booth working tonight, as Dr. Ben Smith helping out, but also too my main partner in crime, Niall Cooper. Niall, great to have you with us tonight.
Happy to be here, guys, and happy to see ASU getting on the power play early here in the first.
Not so great in the circle so far in this first period, and Arizona State has to retrieve it back out of their own zone. Ben Chase skates it into a couple of Grand Canyon University players and loses the puck. Kylie Ram will play it out in the neutral zone. So Marchand with the cross-corner dump. Squarey trying to get there first. And that puck just takes a poor hop over Kylie Ram's stick.
And a heads-up play by the senior Ty Marchand there, just to lay the body, give Kylie Ram just a little bit extra room to skate ahead.
Kylie Ram still has it, but hooks it up to Squarey. But I don't think Squarey was ready for the pass. And the Lopes will clear it again as we're past midway through this second power play.
And maybe one of the highest IQ power plays we've seen in a while there, Brett. All 5 seniors on the ice for Arizona State on that power play 1 unit.
King will kick it out to Carter Newland. Newland, hard to rim around, but nobody home at the blue line for Arizona State. And again, real pedestrian power play so far.
And we know Arizona State on the man advantage, they love to get it set up at the point, and I think this is their first opportunity they've had to do that.
Olsen over to Newland on the right half wall. He'll elect to dump it down, but he didn't get enough power on that dump in, and that gets cleared again. Newland getting a rough ride from Mahalik, but that gets dumped down as it's missed time by GCU as that penalty was just expiring, and they thought they were able to clear it scot-free, but that player just hopped onto the bench to make it 5-on-5, and that results in an icing.
And a heads-up play by the senior Hayden Manning in the crease, letting that one go down for the icing. You heard him beaver tailing right before that to let his teammates know that the man was coming out.
Always a classic signal for the team on the power play's goaltender to make sure there's not any funny business with the man coming out of the box streaking in behind. Another wicked hop here on this Mountain America Community ice sheet. And it results in the Loops coming in. The backhand shot, and they score! Lead in for Grand Canyon University against the run of play. He takes the fortunate hop, and Evan is able to open the game scoring.
Evan leading, the freshman from Geneva, Illinois. And you mentioned it, a wicked hop. That puck was bouncing around like a bouncy ball at the blue line, and a bit of a risky play by the Sun Devil defense, just trying to whack at it to keep it in at the blue line, afforded a really nice breakaway the other way, and Hayden Manning, not a lot he can do there. Quick move, cutting across the front of the crease, and a nice elevation by Evan, the freshman, and GCU up in the first. Cooch trying to get around one, but he can't get around two. As the Lopes will handle it back in their own zone. And you talked about a rough power play, Brett, to start early. A bit anemic for Arizona State. And I think at the end of the day, that ended up working more for GCU. It gave them that momentum afterwards. Even following the man advantage and icing in their own end, they were able to go the other way, get that opening goal.
Carson Cooch trying to pick that puck up to his stick, but he'll get pinned to the wall. As we're under 7 to play in this first period, it's a 1-0 Grand Canyon lead. Brennan Castle's shot ends up hitting a body, and it'll go and touch the high netting, and we'll have a whistle.
And GCU coming in, as I'm sure you've mentioned, partner, ranked 13. One of the highest rankings we've seen from this GCU squad over the years. And you can see it in the way they're playing. They're a big team, but they're also very responsible. Head coach Danny Roy has this team coached up very well. You can see Arizona State, they have no easy paths to an open piece of ice on this sheet. And it almost seems like GCU is just condensing the ice down, and Arizona State is not able to break them down defensively at the moment.
Ryan Kloss leaves it for Olsen. Olsen has to get that puck out quickly. Icing waved off by the linesman. GCU, a nice breakout as they come in with some speed. This guy able to escape turn away from the forechecker, and Spurrier will help that puck along. Kylie Ram, and he'll get thrown down from behind awkwardly, and that ends up being a hooking call, and Arizona State with their third power play of the game.
Good job by the senior, Tyler Kylie Ram, drawing that one, getting his feet moving in the corner. You see Arizona State is able to chip this in, and just meat and potatoes hockey. That's what you have to get back to at the end of the day. They're the first ones to the puck. Kylie Ram works it into the corner, gets good positioning, and GCU just a little bit lazy. They get in there. They hook Kylie Ram down, and he'll skate right back out with this first power play unit, and the Sun Devils really cannot afford to show the lack of urgency on the power play again. They need to take advantage of this, if nothing else, to build a little momentum and get themselves back into this game mentally.
Chase will win the draw. Kylie Ram's shot from the point ends up getting redirected off of a Grand Canyon stick. That had the makings of a possible good power play there, as it all starts with that initial zone draw, and Ben Chase won it, and for a glimmer, a possible good scoring opportunity if it wasn't for that Grand Canyon stick. Kylie Ram will turn the puck over off of the face-off, and Manning will set it up behind his net. Marchand protects the puck. He drops it to Coots. Over to Ben Chase. Kylie Ram to Marchand as they get set up. Marchand trying to fit that point shot through. Goes wide. Indirect pass to Kylie Ram. Takes it. Marchand, Wade shot gets through but misses high.
That was a nice toe drag by Marchand. Opened up that shooting lane.
GCU gets the turnover. Shot on. Marchand's able to take that rebound chance away, and the Lopes have been aggressive on this penalty kill, and they almost got a good scoring opportunity there.
Very aggressive penalty kill for GCU, and it really is giving the Sun Devils a lot of fits.
Thomas will play it back down as the Lopes try to rag some of this time off the clock on this third penalty kill. Tate Olson wheels out of his own zone with some speed. Olson still with it. Gets harassed at the offensive blue line, and the Lopes will clear it down again. King will come in. He works it over to the weak side. Cross team pass to Newland, but he just wands at the puck, and Sun Devils end up touching the puck, and it looks to be a penalty committed against Arizona State. But almost simultaneous, just as Grand Canyon killed off that penalty, now they get to go on the power play.
Hunter Friesen, the guilty party for the Sun Devils, as he got his stick parallel to the ice right on the hands of Tyler Masilik. Sophomore forward drawing this power play for GCU, and a huge opportunity for them as they could continue a great first period on the special teams if they can score here and go up 2.
Sun Devils are trying to bob for that puck off the face-off, and ends up being successful as Tonias will dump it all the way down 200 feet. Under 4 to play in this first period. The 1-0 Lopes lead. As Evan Lead, the goal scorer, couldn't keep that puck in, and the Lopes will have to break it out. But they turned it over to Trevor Kennedy, and he was trying to find Ben Chase, who was the first forward in the zone, but they couldn't connect on the pass. Leading back in with it. Tight turn up, but he turns it over directly to Tonias, and he'll chip it off the high glass, and the Sun Devils will swap out their penalty killers. Owen Hansen, the captain, comes over into the corner. Puck will find Nelson, but he's having some trouble as the ice is chewed up late in this first period. Olsen can't clear it. Good cut, keep him by Hansen. Shot that time from Kaner, misses wide, kept in by Hansen. Hansen at the top of the key. Plays it back. Jack Thomas trying to navigate some traffic and direct some traffic back into corner. Handling that puck is Schwartz. He tries to drive it to the front of the net. Kept out by Olsen. 20 seconds remain on the 5-on-4 power play. Kaner. Poor pass in the skates of Thomas, but takes a fortunate GCU bounce to keep the puck in. Olsen takes a check over his shoulder. Can't clear it out off of his backhand. Penalty just about to expire. The tip. Oh, dangerously through the wickets of Manning, but goes wide. Sun Devils are now back to full strength. Ryan Kloss will glove it down, and he'll wait for recruits to come off the bench. Short ankle shot right into the glove of Kubritsky, and we'll have a whistle with 1 minute and 48 seconds left in the first period.
And the Sun Devils facing quite a bit of pressure down the stretch from GCU. You saw that shot go just through the 5-hole on Hayden Manning and trickle wide. That was a great opportunity, and GCU building up quite a bit of pressure there. Brett, interesting, they had their men set up in the umbrella formation with the guys on their strong sides. It seemed like they wanted to funnel it down low, and they kept looking for that 2-on-1 in front of the crease. Ty Marchand asked to do some great defending in front on Nelson, and the Sun Devils do just enough to kill that off.
Kubritsky couldn't keep that puck in. Lopes coming in with some speed. Good interception by Luke Chase, or else Thompson was streaking in all alone. Another point shot on. Manning's able to make the grab, and now I'd allow a rebound.
And we talked about GCU trying to get a little bit of momentum off the special teams there. It seems like Hayden Manning is starting to find himself a little bit. The way that he was able to see through that screen, moving across his body, finding that puck on that point shot through traffic, you can tell he's in a good spot right now.
Draw one cleanly by King. King trying to find it. He'll get pinned up to the wall by Ugluski. Peltier will drop it down and now gets some help from Thompson. Thompson wheeling around. King will play Thompson into the board. Tonez turns it over. Thompson out in front. The one-timer shot. Saved by Manning. Manning has to get up. And the GCU defenseman saw Manning struggling to get up out of his crease. And he's able to fire one home and making it 2-0 late in this first period.
And you see there that shot through traffic. Not the worst shot we've seen tonight, but as you mentioned, Manning on his backside was fighting just to get back up. And it was Drew Robertson, the defenseman for GCU. Big, lengthy defenseman. Just a heads-up play by him to get that puck back on net. And that all stems from a very poor turnover behind their own net. The Sun Devils fight through some GCU forechecking. Tonez has a chance to make a play behind his net, but the puck's bouncing a little bit, and he just gets a little too bow-legged trying to make a pass, gives it away in a dangerous area. The Sun Devils scramble, and all of a sudden GCU with one of those very sought-after goals in the final minute of a period. Those are backbreakers, and the Sun Devils looking up at a 2-0 deficit.
And it looks to be a possible penalty as well, as Carson Cooch will touch the puck. And with 27 seconds remaining in the period, looks to be Carson Cooch committing a penalty in the offensive zone.
Sun Devil minor penalty, number 21, Carson Cooch, 2 minutes for roughing. Cooch 2 for roughing, time of the penalty, 27 seconds remaining in the first period. The
Sun Devils try to escape out of this first period, only down 2, with about 20 seconds left in the period. Kaner. Kaner on the half wall, he waits. Thomas, his shot on. Manning sticks out the right leg and swallows that puck up. As that had a lot of bodies in front of Manning's eyesight to make the stop.
Important stop on that point shot by Manning, as he has to deal with the big 6'4" sophomore Ricky Nelson parking right in front of the blue paint.
Tonez can't clear it out. Thomas, his shot on, that gets stopped by the right leg of Manning as the first 20 minutes come to an end.
JCU finding their legs, getting into the game. The second 10 minutes of the first period, they looked especially dangerous. Their feet just seem to be moving quicker right now than Arizona State's. The energy for the Sun Devils not the best at the moment when you look at the bench and the way the players are hanging themselves. Hayden Manning, a couple of huge saves to keep Arizona State only down 2 at this point. And it's going to take some of these veteran seniors on a big night for them to sum up a little bit of leadership and courage and get Arizona State back into this game.
And folks, we'll bring you live second period action in just under 15 minutes. At the end of one. Hello everyone and welcome back to ASU. Welcome back everybody to ASU ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside Niall Cooper and the one and only Dr. Ben Smith as we get the second period underway with Grand Canyon University starting this period on a man advantage. Puck controlled up to the point. Thomas works it down to Hansen. Back to Thomas. Thomas point shot on, and Manning's able to get a handle over that puck, and we'll have a whistle. Well, taking advantage of the fresh ice as they were really snapping that puck around in the offensive zone.
Yeah, as we've seen throughout the season here, partner, the first 5 minutes are really when you get the best ice here at the Mountain America Community Iceplex. And so most of the time, you know, you see a team get a power play that transitions from one period to the next, and you think, oh, man, this is a tough spot for them. But maybe GCU, one of the best places you could get a power play is coming out here with a couple minutes of quality ice to really snap it around. Sun Devils doing a good job filling off the remainder of this penalty. 40 seconds of it left on the board. Vardis gallops in, drops it for Thomas. Now to Hansen. Hansen up at the point. Gets it back. Back up to Thomas. Cross-seam pass. Hansen doesn't have a shooting lane. He'll swap spots with Thomas. On the half wall. Marchand trying to keep his man at bay, and that allows Manning to freeze the puck. And 12 seconds remain on the minor penalty to Cooch. Nice job by the Sun Devils to kind of funnel GCU down that right wing side. You saw Delope set up with some one-timers on the opposite side of the ice, and Arizona State had some active sticks taking away the passing lanes. And GCU really forced down and funneled into that corner spot, and then Ty Marchand, some good defense.
Marchand can't clear. Sean Spring.
Your Sun Devils are back at full strength.
Shot wide. Spring gets it again. Quick snapshot on, and Manning's able to freeze it with his chest as Cooch comes back out on the ice surface, and the Sun Devils kill off that penalty.
And when I get home, I might have to give my mom a call tonight, see if she has her bread maker warmed up and ready to go. Because Hayden Manning, the way he got that one right in the bread basket, has me thinking about some warm gluten, partner, on a nice cold night here at the Mackey.
Probably the coldest place in all of Arizona right now, as it touched 90 degrees here today in February, which is abnormally high even for here during this time of year.
Yeah, I hit 93 at the house today. But for those watching in the cold states, that's what we're hitting.
Marchand puts his man down in the corner. Puck will pop out. Austin Cameron getting some help from Descharmes. Keeler trying to get to that puck. He can't. And it'll get slowly dumped in to the GCU zone. Sean Spring. Beautiful indirect play. Up to his forward for GCU, Henriksen. And it's a delayed penalty call against Arizona State. And the Sun Devils finally touch the puck up.
A high sticking call coming here to Arizona State. And that might have been a good penalty to take as a heads-up shot from that left faceoff dot. Manning's forced to play it out to his left. And it looks like Ty Marchand was just clearing out the front of the crease, trying to give Manning a chance to see that second opportunity on the far side. And he ends up clipping the GCU player up high. A game very heavy on the special team so far tonight for both of these squads.
Number 15, Ty Marchand. 2 minutes for high sticking.
Love the
One shot, 2 for high
observation,
sticking,
and
time of the penalty.
Sun Devils have not gotten the
17:21
better of that
remaining
so far,
in the
but
second period.
they're only
One shot,
down
2
2
for high
goals.
sticking in 17:21.
And still a lot of
Your
time in
Sun
this
Devils
hockey
are on
game.
the
As
penalty
Ben
kill,
Chase almost
powered by
stole the
the
puck
Futures
away
White
from
Broad team.
Kubritsky behind his own net. And it was a 5 alarm being rung for GCU there. Let's go D to D. Wrist shot from Henriksen. I think might have even hit the outside of the net. But the puck stays out. Now to Thomas. Waits, trying to get some space. Over to Hansen's wrist shot on. That hit Manning, and he'll make the stop. And some physicality behind the net as a couple players tangled up. Trevor Kennedy for the Sun Devils. Another wrist shot on. And that'll go wide, and a free breakout for Arizona State.
And talk about a freebie for the Sun Devils, as GCU had the Arizona State Sun Devils on their heels there and given them a chance to clear that puck.
Wardis' cross-ice pass dangerously disconnects. Kylie Ram back in shorthanded. Him and Ryan Quast trying to kill the remainder of this penalty off. Sovis guy can't get it out. Thomas. The one-timer shot misses wide. Under 10 seconds left on the penalty. The Marchand. How about the high slot? Beautiful save by Manning. Had to stand up.
Sun Devils are back at full strength.
And Sun Devils are back to full strength. Redirected in front. Manning a couple stops at it. And it's finally blown down.
My goodness, and you want to talk about some miscommunication on the backside. Marchand gets out of the penalty box and heads straight to the bench. Nobody jumps on for him, giving GCU an extended 5-on-4 man advantage. And Hayden Manning coming up huge for Arizona State. Multiple big saves. You saw the Lopes stretching him across east to west, having to go post to post a couple of times. And the Sun Devils leaning on their most important penalty killer. And maybe, just maybe, a little bit of momentum here they can garnish from this shorthanded kill.
Castle trying to chip it out the other side of the zone. Kept in by the Lobes. Point shot on and grab by Manning. Like you pointed out, Niall, in that first period, Manning with definitely more of the rubber coming his direction compared to Kubritsky, and I think it's helping him really settle into this game.
Yeah, it's ironic. Usually the busier the goaltender is in a hockey game, the more on point they are, the better they play. They see the puck a little more clearly. However, all that being said, the Sun Devils really need to tilt this ice back the other way, as Kubritsky has really not been challenged since Ben Chasen gave that little bit of a scare chasing after the puck early on the penalty kill.
Tripping that out is Friesen, but Squarey's unable to get that puck into the offensive zone. Lopes try to swap out their forward lines. Now to Friesen, streaking in all alone. Friesen, snapshot on, saved by Kubritsky as he stood up to make that save, which you don't see too often. Normally, goaltenders try to opt for the butterfly style, but he's able to kick that one out. Manning, he'll punch that one out all the way up to the blue line. All alone in the high slot. Big block by Marchand. Thomas, point shot on. Kicked away into the corner by Manning. As intensity is starting to pick up a little bit here at Mount America Community Iceplex. Sun Devils slow the puck out. And King gets it at the far blue. He'll chip and charge in. Trying to forecheck on Thomas. Fresh off the bench is Descharme. He plays it to King. King dumps in the corner. Squarey trying to fight through some obstruction. And a tough hop off the kick plate forces Luke Chase to go back in his neutral zone.
And as we near the middle of this period, we're starting to see the puck really starting to bounce around more. If you're Arizona State, I think you need to take note of this. You know the ice sheet that you get to play on here at home ice. You get the last change. I think we need to see a little bit of a heavier style of hockey from Arizona State.
Hansen protecting the puck, but Kylie Ram will put him down. That allows Descharm to skate out with it. Anthony White, the defenseman. Now to Kylie Ram. Ram out in front, and a deflection to Descharm all alone. But it was a good stop by Kubritsky, keeping that one out.
A heck of a heads-up pass by Kylie Ram, stringing that through multiple sticks of the GCU defense, and Descharm just gets stonewalled.
And Schwartz gets taken down for the Lopes, and this time the guilty party is Kylie Ram, and where the Sun Devils look to be getting some momentum in the second period is now possibly halted, having to kill this penalty.
That's just a tough play for Kylie Ram. You see him not arguing it at all. Just gets put into a tough spot, and the GCU forward, a great job just moving his feet. And I think that's been kind of the sum of the game so far tonight for GCU. They've been moving their feet just a little bit more than Arizona State, affording them good opportunities.
Your Sun Devils are on the penalty kill, powered by the husband and wife law team.
Colby Jacquet. Up to Evan. Lead in. Puck play behind the Arizona State net. Jacquet. Swap spots with Henriksen. Henriksen shot on from the point. And it gets whistled down. Looks to be whistled down because of a high touch.
Hayden Manning trying to get his glove on that one, reaching across the front of his body. Ends up working out for him with the high touch. They get a break. You'd like to see him maybe just waffle board that one into the corner. Live to fight another day. That had a lot of potential to be dangerous as he dropped the puck right into the blue paint. Hard to argue right now with the best player on the ice for Arizona State, though. Hayden Manning looking sharp as the GCU continues to apply the pressure.
First power play unit back out for the Lopes. Forwards. Play some pitch and catch and try to get back into their spots. Thomas. Looking for that redirection. That hits looks to be Ryan Quast as he blocks that one, but can't clear. Hansen back up to Thomas. Thomas shot through as that had some space to maybe possibly go stick side on Manning, but he's able to make the stop. .40 seconds remain on the man advantage for the Lopes. And they can't keep it in. That allows Arizona State to relieve the pressure. Luke Chase will skate in with it, and we'll just smartly dump it in to try to eat some more clock. Lopes coming with a lot of speed through the middle of the ice. Jacquet. At the point, shot on, rebound in front. Oh, beautiful. Quick reaction, stopped by Manning off the rebound.
A heck of a save from Manning.
Penalty about to expire for Arizona State. Henriksen shot on. Manning makes the initial stop. Rebound still loose, and Manning's able to freeze it. And boy, oh boy, a couple of dandies by Manning on that penalty kill.
I am not sure how he got that second rebound opportunity for GCU. A shot through traffic. You see it squirt right onto the forehand of the forward, and Hayden Manning kicks out his right leg. Reactionary save, as you mentioned, partner. And the Sun Devils holding on at the moment, still only down 2. But right now, I'm surprised you can even see the ice at the far end here, partner, the way this thing is tilted so far toward Hayden Manning. Sun Devils really playing uphill in every fashion at the moment.
That puck will get played into the GCU bench, and face-off looks to be still in the Arizona State zone.
And one thing we've really seen Arizona State struggle with tonight, which I have not noticed in a lot of other games, is their inability to clear the puck so far. And I'm not talking about breaking out passes. I'm talking about simply just getting the puck out of their own end. I've counted at least half a dozen times they've had a chance to clear the puck out of their own end, and they turn it over right at the blue line. That is the worst spot on the ice you could possibly turn it over, and GCU just continuing to rack up turnovers and mount pressure.
And they'll continue to do so on this shift. Played back out in front. Luckily, good stick by Arizona State's Castle allows Sun Devils to break in. Squarey. Castle steps in. Shot hits off the back of the cage. Cooch walks out with it. Trying to wheel that back around to Sobisky. He'll wheel it back around back to the original side. King. Gets it to Squarey. Squarey ends up losing his balance. Peltier clears it, but just out to the neutral zone. Oh, and a tough hop on Sobisky. He doesn't know where it is. And it's finally whistled down as talking about the bounces this Mount America Community Iceplex ice ends up developing with Sobisky. Pardon me, Kubritsky having to make an unbelievable stop.
Yeah, one of the gnarliest bounces we've seen right here in front of us, too. And the Sun Devils afforded an offensive zone faceoff.
Olsen pinches and keeps the puck in. Run around to Friesen. White. He'll snap it back around to Newland. Newland waits. Lopes only giving Arizona State ice on the perimeter. Keeps getting rimmed around, not being able to really penetrate into the middle of that offensive zone at all for the Sun Devils. Drop from Masalik, misses wide. Puck still stayed into the zone for Grand Canyon.
Another blue line turnover for the Sun Devils.
White skates it out. White still with it. We'll have to retrieve in the corner. Absorbs a check, but sends that one out in front, but nobody home for the Sun Devils. Friesen, drop pass to Kate Olsen. High snapshot on, and a rebound from Friesen misses wide. As Kubritsky's having to face a little bit of rubber in the last couple minutes or so.
First time I think we can say that since the first period.
He'll leave it for his defenseman. Hard on the forecheck is Keeler. Keeler doing a good job behind the net. Get some help from Austin Cameron. Referee barking at the scrum by the puck to tell him to keep moving that puck. Puck still loose. It'll finally pop out to Keeler. Keeler backhand shot on, save. Marchand. Crossing pass to Newland. Redirection saved by Kubritsky. Oh, and unfortunate for Arizona State as Marchand was just trying to chip that puck back deeper into the offensive zone, but it hits the Arizona State player and the play is whistled down.
And the Sun Devils finally getting a good shift in the offensive zone, and I think for the first time in this whole game, we saw them win a board battle as they were outmanned nonetheless, 3-2, more GCU players behind that net. But Matt Keeler, shout out to him, an amazing forecheck, slowing down GCU, not giving them a chance to break that puck out easily, and Arizona State turns it into some much-needed offensive zone time.
Marchand with the high point shot. Trying to keep that in and pinching in is Luke Chase, and he's successful. Keeler centers that one in front, gets blocked. Hansen. They'll get forecheck by Descharnes, but he skates away. Snapshot on and easily stopped by Manning with a little bit of English after that save, with 6:41 remaining in the second period.
And from this end of the ice, looking maybe like a little honors English, cursive that he threw onto that one. I never made it to the AP level back in the day. I don't know about you, partner.
Definitely math was more my strong suit. More of an analytical thinker.
Some would say the Da Vinci of our time.
Tazzle skates out with it for the Sun Devils, but they turn it over at the offensive blue line. Spring steps out with it. And the Sun Devils come back in the offensive zone with space. Cooch to Kennedy. Kennedy still jabbing at it. A couple whack. Puck still loose. Tazzle. Wrist shot gets blocked by Oakland. Backhand pass to Thomas as the Lopes try to finish off a change. Castle out there without a glove. Hard check by Ben Chase in the corner. Tonez. Hard chip off the glass. Couple bounces, but Kennedy's tired and he's going to go for a change. Good play by Chase to take a hit and make a play to Squeary, and Squeary's snapshot on. Stopped by Kubritsky.
A smart play by Squeary, gaining the zone. You could feel him getting that pressure on the backside. The Sun Devils, before that, a great opportunity. You see short side, 3 Sun Devils jamming away at the puck. And Kubritsky getting that leg pad down, forcing the Sun Devils to have to try and elevate that puck, and they just couldn't get it over the pad.
Hard rim around. Silvis guy trying to pinch in, but Wardis was able to get him. It's a 2-on-1. Wardis wrist shot on, and that was a stick save. And you could hear that wood plank against that puck by Manning.
I like the intensity right now for the Sun Devils, starting to kick it up a notch.
Squarey delivers a big check on Zerchek. Wardis still with it. Good back check by the Sun Devils. Dislodge possession of it. Tate Olson turns it over, but good stick by him to recover and not allow that dangerous pass to go through. Puck glued up to the kick plate in front of the GCU bench. And it'll pop out to Squarey. Squarey trying to dig in. He gets some help from King. King all alone. King! Snapshot on save by Kubritsky as he shuts the 5-hole down. Fresh off the bench is Newland. 2-on-1. Newland driving. He put that one in, and it's whistled down. No signal from the referee. And Kubritsky looks to have made the stop.
As the forwards get broken up in front of the net, we'll take a look back here. Carter Newland picks it up across the blue line. He saw he had a man back door, decides to take it himself. Kubritsky manages to seal that arm as it was Newland trying to get his backhand to elevate a little bit. And Jake King, he seems to be one of those guys, when he gets his game going, the Sun Devils seem to kind of rally around that. And you saw his intensity after the play, getting loose in front of the blue paint, and he'll sit for 2, looks like coincidental minors being assessed here to GCU and Arizona State.
And for the Sun Devils, getting a really good push, like you mentioned, on that forecheck, and also noticing the physicality ticking up, as well as the pace of play by the Sun Devils. And they've been getting a good spell in the offensive zone these last few minutes.
In the second period.
We'll have 4-on-4 play. Cavaliers to Newland. And we'll have that for about 2 minutes. So a little extra ice to operate with. Marchand ends up losing the puck in the skates of the referee. Newland. Draw pass. Gets it right back from Marchand. Newland still with it. And Newland trying to bargain for a call. As Kubritsky makes a stop. It was some good interchange play between Marchand and Newland. And Newland just couldn't get that puck up into a good area where he could really release a dangerous shot.
And I think Carter Newland had a really good case there for a hooking penalty. You saw as he moved that backhand to forehand, the classic Chell move. Usually it works, but there was a parallel stick in his midsection, and we saw the Sun Devils called on that earlier in this game. GCU gets lucky not to get assessed a minor there.
Hansen having some trouble out of his own zone. Huffer with a big check on Beveliers. Play will continue. Thomas. Draw pass to Schwartz and getting a hard ride that time. Looks to be Thomas, and he's shaken up.
And just as I was about to say, partner, the refs looking like they're starting to let these teams just play. Marchand lays the absolute big body of his in the corner. As we saw, he caught that GCU player in a bit of a vulnerable position as he was kind of pivoting from skating forward to skating backwards, drops the puck back to the point, and Marchand deciding to finish his check, even though he knew it was going to be a little bit late. I think frustration maybe starting to boil over a little bit here for the Sun Devils. They've had some great opportunities, maybe a couple calls that should have gone their way in the last few minutes.
And now head coach Johnny Walker is getting a little more animated on the bench as he's trying to talk to the referee.
No.
Back at the ref's crease, both respective captains are getting the explanation. And wow, it's not just a run-of-the-mill 2-minute power play. It's going to be a 5-minute power play, and it's going to be a game misconduct.
Time of the penalty,
to Ty
3:22
Marchand.
remaining in the second period.
No. Just a game of fun.
That's something you normally see on that type of hit. Normally, if it's something
Your
where it's
Sun
a
Devils
square
are on
hit
the
right in the
penalty
numbers,
kill, powered by the
you'll
husband
see
and
a
wife
game misconduct
Lottie.
in a 5-minute major. But there just seemed to be a run-of-the-mill hit to me.
Yeah, good job by Dr. Ben Smith getting that replay up there and catching it in the corner behind the play. As you mentioned, partner, a bit of a regular run of the play kind of hit. You know, you could
Serving
make the
the
case it was a little bit
penalty
late for
for
Marchand, but there was a
ASU,
big
number
size
20,
difference there
Luke
between
Chase.
him and the forward for
correction.
GCU. You see the GCU forward kind of turn, bend down a little bit, and almost kind of lays his head, upper body area right into those arms as Ty Marchand was extending for the hit. And given the way that this game's been called, the way that this second period especially has kind of been played with the intensity ramping up, the whistles kind of being put away, the cherry on top, it being senior night for Arizona State, a little bit surprising. You put all those things together and you see a game misconduct in a 5-minute major assessed to the Sun Devils. You know, a bit of a situational call, I think, for the officials, where you might expect them to maybe just call 2-minute interference there. Nothing malicious. You saw Ty Marchand, as soon as that play was done, he went straight to that GCU forward, immediately getting down on the ice, checking on and making sure he was okay. No ill intent in the check, but the officials not persuaded at all by the Sun Devil bench and letting them know they'd like to get on to this extended power play that GCU's about to have. Johnny Walker, you can tell by the body language, not happy at all at the moment.
Also have to give the referee the benefit of the doubt. Again, they do not have after replay. Like, a 5-minute major penalty to Marchand, and GCU will be operating on the man advantage for the rest of the second period. One-timer shot on stop by Manning. Also, too, with it being coincidental minors, it's actually a 4-on-3 power play for another minute or so. Redirection play works, and they score. As that was Ledin, and the defenseman Tyler Huffer all the way down by the crease, redirecting that one to make it 3-0.
The Eagle River, Alaska native setting himself up in a nice spot down low. Hard to tell if that was 21 or 27 down in front of the net for GCU, but it doesn't matter. The infrequently seen and dreaded 4-on-3 strikes for GCU. And when you look up at the clock, there's still 4:36 remaining on that Ty Marchant major. GCU doing a great job to strike early
GCU goal,
on that 4-on-3.
scored
Lots of
by
ice
number
afforded to them. That
21,
will continue here as the
Tommy
Coincidentals
Wardis.
will stay on
Wardis
the board up
assisted by
until
number
they
24,
expire.
Toby Jaquette. And number
If you're
8,
GCU, you're looking
Evan
right now, this is a
Leland.
chance to absolutely
Power play
break this
goal at
game wide
2:57
open
remaining
and put
in the
Arizona
second
State
period.
away in the second period.
And again, with this being a 5-minute major, even if GCU scores, the power play will continue for all 5 minutes.
And the Sun Devils, not to mention a great defenseman they're missing on the offensive side, also one of their main penalty killers, Ty Marchant.
One-timer shot. Misses wide by Jaquette. And good clearance by Ben Chase to relieve the pressure for a moment. 15 seconds remain on the 4-on-3 power play. Thomas to Jaquette. Jaquette wrist shot on. Manning's able to make the stop. And King standing up on his 2 feet, waiting to be released from the penalty box to eventually make it a 5-on-4 power play for GCU.
And looking at the positive here, Hayden Manning continuing to see the puck really well in the crease. And if you're a goaltender, one of the last things you want to see is that 4-on-3, because you know all that extra ice, that opposing team is really going to be zipping the puck around. You're going to have your head on a swivel. He continues to maintain some great positioning, making some big saves for the Sun Devils.
Draw win by Kylie Ram, a big one. Dumps the puck down, and that allows both players to finish off their coincidental minors, and will be 5-on-4 now for about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Hansen, Kaner, to Thomas, quick point shot on, misses high, takes a hard deflection behind the net, but cleared into the corner. Ryan Kloss unable to poke the puck away. Kate Olsen can't clear it. Hansen with it, walks the line. Hansen still with it, good block by Kylie Ram as he was kneeling to make that block. Kloss just gets it out to the center ice line, and it's whistled down, and Kylie Ram finishing off a great shift. And now looks to be Ryan Kloss entangled with Schwartz behind the plane. The linesmen are doing a good job getting in the middle of them.
Kloss giving his 2 cents to Schwartz there, as it looked like 43 in the black and purple might have instigated Kloss a little bit to try to get him going. As we see Tyler Kiley ran that good effort at the blue line, moving his feet, puts the GCU player in a dangerous spot. The way the puck bounces at the blue line, we saw the Sun Devils get caught multiple times turning it over in that same kind of situation, trying to make a play on the puck in open ice, and Tyler Kiley Ram recognized that. The senior, some savvy wit on his part just to get around that GCU player, force him to either take him down or allow a 2-on-1 the other way. And if you're GCU, a smart play here, you know you already have a 51-second man advantage continuing, so much better to just give up the 4-on-4 play than a 2-on-1 the other way.
Some great hustle by Kylie Ram to draw that one, and with the stoppage after that little altercation with Kloss and Schwartz, almost a mini intermission we're having here in the late of the second period,
9, Jack
which I think can really only help Arizona State to try and break some of that GCU momentum.
43, Michael Schwartz, 2 minutes for roughing. And on the Sun Devils, number 14, and Ryan Quast, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of all penalties, 1:12 remaining in the second period.
So with a minute and 12 left in the second period,
and Schwartz
we'll
will
have
return
4-on-4 play now
at 19:12 and a whistle
for the rest
of
of
the
this period.
third.
Query trying to fight his way
1
to the
minute
middle of the
remaining
ice.
in the second period.
Kill this guy, wrist shot on, and Kubritsky, with no traffic in front, makes the stop.
From one Ukrainian to another, a nice shot on from Sovasky, walking it into the blue line, trying to pick that corner. Any shot on net right now is a good shot for the Sun Devils.
Wardus getting kicked out of the circle for GCU. Third check will lose out to King. King gets rid into the wall. Now to Wardus. No tight turn up and break it out to Spring. Spring dropped it to Wardus. Wardus still with it, trying to get a good handle on that puck. Drops it. To Spring. Snapshot on. Manning's able to look around to see if traffic in front and will make the stop with no rebound.
Good job by Sean Spring, one of the seniors for GCU. A heads-up play as he was kind of waiting, assessing that traffic in front, trying to time up his shot where Hayden Manning wouldn't be able to see it. Manning, though, using his instincts just to track where that puck looked like it was going, and no rebound yielded.
Draw one convincingly by Kylie Ram. 20 seconds left in the period. Kate Olson trying to get that puck over to Friesen. They'll come in the corner. Friesen gets it to Kylie Ram. That puck is still up against the boards. Cleared out by the Lopes. 5 seconds left. Castle trying to show his man to the outside. Easy stop by Manning. And that'll do it for this second period of play.
Second quarter, GCU 3, ASU 0. Shots on goal in the period.
And overall,
GCU 22 shots on net.
A better period for Arizona State in terms of effort.
Once again, don't forget we've got that gold jersey auction going
down
on.
Low.
Check out the QR code at the
Unfortunately for
ticket
them,
table to get your
Ty
bid in
Marchand
and
missing
take
the rest of this
home one of
game,
our
taking a
gold
major
jerseys.
penalty. The Sun
All
Devils
proceeds
giving a
support
lot of
your
power
Sun
play
Devil hockey
opportunities
program.
across those middle 20 minutes here to GCU. They take advantage on the 4-on-3. And the Lopes right now with a commanding 3-0 lead entering the third period. And Arizona State is going to have to come up with maybe the best third period we've seen all this season if they're going to get themselves back into this game.
And folks, you might be able to see that best third period that the Sun Devils have played this season in just under 15 minutes. At the end of 2, Arizona State 0, Grand Canyon University 3. This is Arizona State ACHA Hockey 2.
The raffle basket, congratulations.
Hello everyone, welcome to
You can pick it up
ASU
at the
ACHA
ticket
Hockey 2's
table.
presentation
We'll
of
make yourself
ACHA
ready
Division
to
1 Men's
you.
Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn, alongside Niall Cooper and Dr. Ben Smith. And starting this third period, the Sun Devils have had to kill off a 5-minute major game misconduct penalty to one of their top players, a senior, Ty Marchand. And with the Sun Devils, they can play 4-on-4 for about 48 seconds and then kill off the remainder of that 5-minute major, which would only be 30 seconds or so. Only giving up one goal through all of that should be considered a win.
Yeah, overall tonight, the Arizona State penalty kill has been extremely effective, and they've been called upon in some really big moments. Granted, GCU has gotten a goal past them in that second period when it was 4-on-3 and they had the extra ice. And that is what separated this game into the little more dramatic 3-0 deficit the Sun Devils look up. But overall, you have to be very impressed. Hayden Manning, especially between the pipes, has looked phenomenal.
Lead in. We get shoved to the boards, but good stick by him, keeps it in. Oakland. He'll take a rough ride behind the net. And Jake King will skate with the puck. And he'll try to take it in himself. Kylie Ram plays it down to King. Now to Kylie Ram, waits to White. Back over to King. King, wrist shot on. Saved by Kubritsky, and 6 seconds will remain on that penalty before Arizona State goes back to 5-on-4 play.
And you see the main penalty killers coming back out. Ben Chase and Kennedy have been very good on the forecheck, aggressive on GCU, not giving them any easy breakouts. And almost the way we've seen the Sun Devils play shorthanded is something you'd like to see, that they would have transitioned to playing 5-on-5, especially in the first period. It seemed like
GCU is
GCU was
back at
able to
full
snap the
strength.
puck around at will and just skate straight down the ice. The Sun Devils playing much harder shorthanded, and you can see it right here, GCU struggling.
Wrist shot on, big stop by Manning again. That time off of Kaner. Wardis. Back to Kaner. 25 seconds left now on this power play. Nelson one touches it up to the point. Hansen shot blocked by the nailing Tonez, and they'll dump it down. Maybe one more chance for GCU on this 5-minute major before the penalty expires. And we'll have a whistle as it looks to be Hansen was trying to obstruct Keeler on the forecheck, and he ends up knocking his stick out of his grasp. And with that, an undisciplined penalty for the captain for GCU allows Arizona State to go on the power play in about 4 seconds.
And the Minot, North Dakota native takes a seat.
GCU minor penalty.
I
number
haven't seen
17,
any of his two
Owen
brothers here
Hansen.
tonight, Brett,
2
but
minutes
the
for
captain
interference.
Hansen
Hansen
for
2 for
GCU
interference.
taking a
Time
tough
of
penalty here
18:26
for the
remaining
Lopes, as they
in
only
the
have
third
4
period.
seconds left before Arizona State will jump back onto the ice with the man advantage. You see the Sun Devil bench ready right now to get that 5th man back on the ice. Big face-off for Arizona State.
Draw one by the Lopes, and they'll dump
Our
it
Sun
down
Devils are
as
back at full
Newland will
strength.
hop back on the ice.
And on the husband and wife team
And
power
are
play.
now operating on the man advantage. With only 2 minutes have passed in this third period, down 3. We've seen teams come back from a lot more than that in one period. Newland was trying to have a give and go pass on, but it gets intercepted and cleared all the way down.
And you saw the Sun Devils here. They're having to change up the power play unit. Usually it's Ty Marchant, that man all the way back, skating the puck in himself single-handedly typically. The Sun Devils early on that power play electing instead to just dump it in and chase.
Surprise also, too, that Arizona State has not really switched up how they break into the offensive zone on the man advantage. It seems that the Lopes have been having some success pinching them at that offensive blue line. Point shot from Olsen gets blocked up in the air and into the corner. Newland back in the corner with it to Olsen. He keeps it in. Olsen. Drop pass on to King. Stopped by Kubritsky. Wraparound attempt misses wide.
And that was a heck of a chance for King and for Arizona State. Maybe the best look they were going to get on this man advantage.
20 seconds left as Sun Devils swap out their 5-man unit. Cross corner dump to Newland by Descharmes. At the point, Castle gets it back. One-timer from Newland, and he whips on it behind the net.
GCU is back
And
at full
GCU is back to
strength.
full strength. Pass from Newland intercepted. Lope skating with it to Schwartz. Schwartz on the backhand, stay by Manning. The rebound, and they score. Nelson, Johnny on the spot, came cruising in with that rebound right in front, and Manning, not knowing where the puck is, puts it home undetected, 4-0 Lopes.
And that might have been one of the easiest goals of Nelson's career. You see him coming in late here to the play. Manning makes that first save, looking for the puck. No one could find it. The only man on the ice for Arizona State that even knew where it was
GCU
DeVillers,
goals
but he
scored
was
by
so
number
far back behind the
28,
play.
Richard Nelson.
Not much he could
Nelson
do.
assisted by number 43, Michael
And Ricky
Schwartz.
Nelson, he's been putting himself
Nelson
in the
from
good
Schwartz,
spots in
time
front of
of
the
the
net with
goal.
all the power plays
16:09
GCU
remaining
has
in the
had.
third period.
It's surprising he hasn't been able to get a goal so far with the amount of rubber that they've seen, and he's been in front of that blue paint, picking up rebounds all game. And good for him, Johnny on the spot, as you mentioned, coming in late, collecting a goal here, and what's been a very impressive performance from GCU.
Manning clears that into the corner. Turned over to Keeler. Descharm plays it back down the corner. One-timer shot on, stopped by Kubritsky. As Sovisky, his countryman, activated from the point. And Kubritsky really impressive tonight.
And not too many times you say that when the opposing goaltender from GCU at the other end, Hayden Manning, has seen 13 more shots on goal, almost up to 40 shots on goal for GCU so far in this game. But Kubritsky, when he has been called upon, has looked extremely sharp, very calm and collected, a very calming presence in the net for GCU, the Kiev, Ukraine native.
Point shot from Chase gets kicked out by Kubritsky. White having some trouble as it dribbles through his own feet. Stepping out of the corner with it. With Henriksen. Still on the forecheck. Chase goes D to White. And he plays it right back. White controls. Headmans that puck up to Cooch as he chips it in. Cooch unable to dislodge the puck. White pinching in, forces GCU to chip it out of their own zone. Cooch with some help from Ben Chase, but the puck's still stuck at the offensive blue line. Now it'll come to Chase. Chase, snapshot high, and Kubritsky flashes the leather with the glove.
And if the Sun Devils down 4-0 here, partner, I think at this point in the game, really what you're playing for right now is pride. And for all the seniors that are coming out here tonight, you know, for some of these guys, this is going to be one of the last competitive hockey games they ever play in their entire lives. And so a real moment here with the final 14 and change for some of these seniors to come out, put in some good shifts for the players around them to really rally and see if they can finish on a strong note here tonight. We've seen some good play tonight from Quast. He's really been getting it going. Connor Squeary, his line mate, a senior, has had some good opportunities. And ironically enough, Ben Chase shorthanded, maybe the best opportunity so far tonight to score, as he snuck in earlier in that second period, almost picked the pocket of Kubritsky.
GCU won the offensive zone draw. Beautiful block by Squeary to keep it away from his netminder. Manning does just enough to stop the puck. Olsen. He'll fork it over to King, but they turn it over. King still hard on the puck, and he'll elect to skate it out. Good hustle by him. Puck up around to the point. Deflection on. That time from Kylie Ram, and Kubritsky has to make a very athletic stop.
And a big check laid back behind the play by Jay King. The Sun Devils staying physical.
Lourdes waits for troops off the bench. Comes to Robertson. Centered out in front. Wrist shot on. Goes wide by Misalik. Hansen still with the puck. Hansen still with it, showing off his edge work skating. Trying to drive that to the front of the net. Cleared in the corner by Kloss. Kept in by Spring. Snapshot on block by Kylie Ram. Still kept in. Tonyez can't clear it. Knocked down by Misalik. Tosses it over to Hansen, but he can't release it. And a sprawling Kling gets that one cleared. Kylie Ram trying to find it. This Sun Devil forward group is still out. Cloth. Lays that back down around Sovasky. Pinches in. Good forecheck by Arizona State. They get the turnover to Cameron. To Quas. The one-timer from Cameron. Saved by Sovasky. Another shot on. Still loose in front. Sovasky trying to find it. And it's finally whistled down. Wow, what a save by Kabritsky. What a series of saves in front as the Sun Devils. They force a turnover. One of the few times tonight we've seen them on that end of things, forcing GCU to turn over in their own end. They get it in front of the blue paint. First, that one-timer from Cameron opens it up. The rebound opportunity, a great job by the Sun Devils. Just keep that alive, get it back in front of the blue paint on net. And really just unlucky that they were not able to get that in the back of the net. Usually that third, fourth opportunity in front, you will get that one past the goaltender. But Kabritsky is playing lights out for GCU. You know he wants to see that goose egg stay on the scoreboard for Arizona State. Manning ladles it over to Sovasky. And that ends up hitting a GCU player and up into the Arizona State bench with 11:42 left in the game. And you like to see a little bit of fight from Matt Keeler still in front of the net. He's been one of those guys driving the play when he's been on the ice tonight for the Sun Devils. And only a freshman, Matt Keeler, one of the exciting young players that we're going to be seeing hopefully for years to come here in a Sun Devil jersey. He'll be the one taking the face off. Then Schwartz. And draw one by Keeler. And another freshman, Anthony White, will skate it out. Only out to center ice, though, as Cavaliers will have to retreat back in his own zone. Icing waved off. Kabritsky leaves it behind his net for Keeler. Keeler gets pinned to the corner. And plays whistled down as a couple extracurricular activity happening in the offensive zone for Arizona State. And it might be only one guilty party heading to the sin bin. The aforementioned Matt Keeler, he was down low, and it was Schwartz, the pest for GCU. We've seen him all night getting underneath the skin of the Arizona State players, and he certainly did there for Keeler, as we saw number 91 in the white and gold deliver a few cross checks in succession there, and just one too many for the official to let go. A good job by Schwartz not retaliating to get this man advantage for GCU. Or at least that's what it looked like it was going to be.
On GCU, number 43,
as Schwartz maintained his composure in the corner, but the official maybe just trying to keep a bit of a lid on this game, deciding to call coincidental minor. Probably a smart play by the officials, as we've seen the intensity ramp up a little bit here as this game's worn on, in spite of the fact that the goal difference has continued to widen. So for the next 2 minutes, we'll have again some 4-on-4 play. A lot of special teams action in tonight's contest. And that's been something I think that's really hurt Arizona State, as they've had no chance to really get their game going. The few times when it's been 5-on-5, we've seen them develop a little bit of momentum. They have played well, but so much special teams action back and forth tonight. We've seen almost every type of special teams that you can see in a game. And at the end of the day, GCU seems to have reacted a lot better to that kind of stop and start style tonight than Arizona State has been able to. Absolutely is, with all these penalties being taken. As you see, Connor Squarey now going to the box for Arizona State, so they'll be on a disadvantage in terms of how many players are allowed on the ice. It'll be 4-on-3 for GCU. That is hard to get their rhythm to your hockey game, especially with the Sun Devils. They really excel 5-on-5.
10:32 remaining in the third period. Your
When there's trips
Sentinels
to the
are off
box
the penalty
on either
kill,
side,
powered by the
it's hard
Husband and Wife
to
Law Team.
gain a rhythm. Ben Chase knocks that puck down as it's dribbling end over end and ends up hitting a rut in the ice, and that allows the Lopes to go the other way with Thomas. Drops it to Hansen. The one-timer from Masalik and a beautiful stop by Manning. Again, those quick reaction stops he excels at. Nelson again with a snapshot on. Manning does just enough to keep it out.
Manning looking good, as you mentioned.
Point shot on from Thomas. Saved by Manning. Hansen and Thomas switches spots. One-timer on from Thomas and Manning. Still keeping busy here in the third period.
Really good looks for GCU. Nelson had a great look earlier in front of the net as he was able to walk it in from the forward tees. And I think Hayden Manning has played so well here in this game and continuing to play well on that chance for Nelson. It kind of forced him to have to pick that corner even though he was in so tight, and he ends up going off the high glass. GCU a couple more good scoring opportunities after that, but Manning continuing to stand to the test.
Lead in. We'll try to get some time out of Jacquette. Wrist shot on. Stop by Manning with the right leg. Lead in. Gets harassed by Chase and Kylie Ram, and they'll dump that one down.
ASU each return one to the
Nice
ice.
heavy stick from
5
Luke
on
Chase
4.
there. You saw him having to
GCU.
operate on 2 lopes along the half wall, and he just outmuscles them on the puck, able to get that up to Kylie Ram and get the clear.
Henriksen. He'll get pushed in the boards by Keeler. Lead in out there for a while as Kaner touches the puck up, and we'll have a whistle, and it looks to be a hooking call against GCU, and that parade of the puck continues for both teams.
And I'm certainly not much of a betting man, partner, but if I would have put a little money
GCU
on the
minor
over
penalty,
for penalty
number
minutes tonight, I
19,
think that would have
Hayden
cashed
Henderson. 2
probably
minutes
in the
for
early
hooking.
second period, the way this
Henderson,
game's
2 for
been
hooking.
going.
Time of the penalty, 8:47 remaining
Those door
in the third
operators
period.
over at the penalty box
Your
is really
Sentinels
getting
are
a
on the
workout
power
tonight.
play. Powered by the
Definitely
husband
hope,
and
too,
wife
that the
law
scorekeeper
team.
had enough ink in his pen tonight, as he's been having to jot down and scorekeep all these penalties taking place.
The Sun Devil bench trying to sneak Carson Cooch, the senior, out there at the last minute for this 4-on-4 before it opens up to 5-on-4. But that changed just a little bit too late. He'll have to go back to the bench.
The Lopes will take it in themselves with Wardis. King gets pinned to the wall by Wardis.
Your Sun Devils are back at full strength and on the power play.
And Query will pop out, so the Sun Devils will be on the man advantage. Try to at least get 1 goal in this game. Cooch over to Olsen. Olsen, point shot on, and that deflection goes wide. Cooch gets it back from King. Out in front, still is in front. Cooch is shot on, and that's stopped by Sovisky.
My, oh my, what a save by Kabritsky. I don't know how he got behind that puck. The Sun Devils worked this one from high to low, back behind the net, operating in that dangerous area that we've seen them have some success tonight. They work it out front, and the GCU defense not able to pick up that extra forward in front of the net. But no problem as they have number 30 between the pipes, Kabritsky standing tall, and he is playing hard for his shutout tonight.
Maybe the best power play chance we've seen out of Arizona State in quite a while. And Kabritsky tonight, that's his 32nd save of the evening. And when he's been called upon, he's been answering every time. King on his off wing, skates the puck in, protecting the puck. That'll come over to the far side wall and dump down. Also got to give credit to GCU as well. They're still moving their feet, even only up 4 goals. Silversky at the point. He'll walk the line, and it's whistled down. It looks to be Squarey was jousting with the defenseman for GCU, number 26, Spencer Lund, and Squarey ends up committing an infraction in front of the GCU netminder.
Sun Devils minor penalty, number 2, Connor Squarey.
And I think a little bit of frustration boiling over there from Squarey in front of the net. Not exactly a heads-up play by him, but hard to blame him. It's been a bit of a tough luck night for the Sun Devils here at the Mountain America Community Iceplex on this Friday night. And the Sun Devils, they have had their chances. They've got enough looks tonight, even in spite of losing one of their best players in Ty Marchand for a good chunk of this game. They could have fought their way back into this one if not for some immaculate goaltending from Kabritsky and some timely goals from GCU. GCU's back at full strength.
The penalty kill.
And on the power play. Might be setting a record here. We might be on special teams maybe the whole third period. I guess they call it special teams for a reason, partner. Hasn't been anything but special tonight. It's been the norm tonight. Work the plate. He's getting pressured by Tonez. Fortunate for Arizona State that the referee was in the middle of that play, and that allows Chase to clear it down. As we're under 6 remaining in the second to last game of the regular season for the Sun Devils. And Tonez will clear that puck all the way down. And Kabritsky's forced to play it. Peltier overskates the puck. Now it's caught up in his skates. Kate Olsen trying to slide the puck out of the corner. It will come to Oakland. Spring. Walks the point to Oakland. Back to Spring. 15 seconds remain on the power play. Deflection goes wide. Kylie Ram jumps on it and will clear it down. And a good job by Kylie Ram to get to that puck and send it down. Having a little bit of trouble with the blade on his right skate. It looked like it was starting to come loose, and he was still able to get to that puck. Oakland unable to get around Castle. And the Sun Devils are now back to full strength. Oakland shot on, tucked away by Manning. And Surchek was trying to pass up to the point, but nobody home, and it'll go back in his own zone. Puck centered out in front, but taken away by GCU into the corner. Manning pushes that puck into the corner. Keeler mixing it up physically in front of his own bench, and he'll go for a change. Love to see that from Matt Keeler. Even as we get into the twilight hours of this game, he continues to maintain that physicality. And I think something to take note of there going into tomorrow's game for Arizona State is that has been one of the moments that they have seemed to kind of latch onto, and when they've played their best tonight is when they've been physical, when they've gotten the puck down low and played a little bit of a heavier brand of hockey. There's some physicality there on the back check, forces Hansen to go offside. And I think that's going to be important for the Sun Devils to finish off this 3:28 in the game on a high note to try to carry something in for tomorrow's contest. And, we mentioned the intensity, the physicality. There is obviously a line there that you have to toe. And we've seen, for instance, tonight, Connor Squarey, number 2, the senior for Arizona State, has crossed it a little bit. Later in this game, the Sun Devils having a lot of frustration, feeling like
They've been wrong both by the luck of the gods, a little bit of puck luck, and the officials. But if they can find a way to rein in that intensity and keep it a little more consistent, I think if you can match that with a little more of a normal game, some more 5-on-5 action tomorrow, there's a chance for success here against a very good GCU squad.
White with a nice move, kicking that puck up to his stick and released a nice wrist shot. Play continues. Good defense by the senior captain, Kate Olson. He'll come back around, kept in. Sports, snapshot on, saved by Manning. Cavaliers was able to clear it out, but only to the neutral ice.
Big Manning, another great stop right in front of us there as GCU had a chance in the high slot, unabated, the forward for the Lopes.
Puck tipped in by Cavaliers. Now over to Squarey. Olsen's punch it on a rebound in front, and they score! Arthur Cavaliers ends up taking away the shutout bid for Kubritsky.
The Darien, Connecticut native netting what should be his 5th goal of the year. And for all the amazing chances Arizona State has had tonight, Kubritsky stood tall for so many of them. That looking like such an innocuous play, just a soft shot from a bad angle. De Villers making a move to the front of the net, just kind of picking up the garbage, trying to get a second shot on goal. And somehow that puck just bouncing and squeaking in behind Kubritsky. An unfortunate look for him, breaking up the shutout bid, but the Sun Devils finally seeing a little bit of fruit from their labors tonight.
And when they've been able to establish themselves on the forecheck at even strength, seems to be where they're generating a lot of their chances.
And unfortunately for Arizona State, tonight they put themselves in a lot of bad spots in terms of the turnover margin. And I think that certainly hurt their case early in this game in establishing something against GCU.
Castle will hustle to that puck to go for an icing call on the play, and face-off will go back in GCU zone.
Through the latter stage of this game, though, Arizona State has definitely looked to be on par, I would say, with this GCU squad. Now, there's not a whole lot of moral victories in the game that you can take, but a few positives that you can look at if you're Arizona State.
Basil will pinch in. Centered out in front, all the way up to the point to Sovis guy, but the shot gets blocked by Henriksen for the Lopes. Puck chipped into the corner.
1 minute remaining in the third period.
Under 60 seconds left in the contest. Tripped in by Cooch. Squarey going in hard. Unable to generate a turnover, though. But Kylie Ram, fresh off the bench, looked to maybe get a good scoring opportunity, but that'll get cleared out into the neutral zone as Castle near the end of his shift is running a bit on fumes. Wardis. Now over to Kaner, and that's blocked by Cooch. Under 20 to go. Anthony White has some room. Takes it in, centers that one in front. Cleared away in the corner, maybe one more chance. Luke Chase, his shot, hits a body in front. And that'll do it. As the first game of two between GCU and Arizona State goes the Lope way.
We had a great time tonight. We hope you enjoyed helping us celebrate our seniors.
And as Arizona
One
State
more home game left for the
comes out to
season. That's
congratulate the
tomorrow night.
goaltender, the same
We
for
take the
GCU.
ice at
Kabritsky played
5:30,
some
puck drop at
immaculate
6
hockey down the
o'clock.
stretch for
Same
them.
two teams. Your Sun Devils take on the GCU Lopes.
But you
Until
definitely have to
then, please
recognize
drive
what
home
Hayden Mannion was
safely.
able to do between the pipes for Arizona State tonight.
As we see the players heading home and almost full of capacity crowd here tonight leaving. We welcome you here inside Mount America Community Iceplex. Brett Vaughn alongside Niall Cooper. And Niall, GCU, maybe it wasn't their most impressive game of the year. You could tell how really sound they were in their game, not allowing too many opportunities for Arizona State to catch them napping.
Yeah, certainly GCU, they looked very sharp. Mentally, they were really on it tonight. I thought from the moment that the puck dropped tonight and through that first period, they were doing a really good job just being responsible. They were moving their feet. You know, GCU, they have a great mixture of size and speed on their roster, but really you could see it was the coaching tonight that showed early. Danny Roy really has this team playing some great hockey. You know, they're coming into tonight ranked 13, going up against Arizona State ranked 29th. And so you knew GCU was looking at this as, you know, this is a weekend for us to really show up and show what our brand of hockey is here in the state of Arizona as the highest ranked team in the state right now as they're eyeing, you know, a good run hopefully to nationals. And I thought they came out, they played a really good road game.
And for Arizona State, not the result you wanted, especially on senior night, but look to be towards the end of that period. They do get that goal ending Kabritsky's shutout bid, but there were some moments in the game where it seemed like Arizona State was maybe getting a foothold. What do you think they could take away to utilize for the last game of the year tomorrow?
Yeah, we saw Deviliers. He had, you know, the goal late to break up the shutout bid. Kabritsky still, you know, you have to recognize what he was putting together. But the Sun Devils, they had moments tonight where they looked really good. They were putting together good shifts on the ice. They were playing some good hockey. You know, once they were able to force turnovers, once they got aggressive on the forecheck, I thought they were making things tough for GCU, and they kind of started to mount opportunities. The Sun Devils, I think, you know, when they were getting it in deep, getting it behind the defense, they were playing a lot better in those moments than when they were trying to zip it around and get a little too cute with the puck. And I think that's something we've seen all year on this, you know, sheet of ice. The puck gets a little bit too bouncy. And once the Sun Devils, they played that more meat and potatoes hockey, they started to have success. They got some great goaltending on their own end. And I think if they can, you know, put those together in a little bit more of a 60-minute effort tomorrow night, we're going to see some really good hockey.
And now it's that point of the evening for tonight's player of the game.
Yeah, I think no surprise, the player of the game tonight, Kabritsky, between the pipes for GCU. The Ukrainian looked immaculate all night. A little unfortunate not to get the shutout when it was all said and done. The Sun Devils spoiling that bid late, but he looked great. GCU, you know, they were rolling all four lines all night, but it was really just, you know, some key moments where they would get that quick goal, and then Kabritsky would have to stand tall at the other end of the ice, and he was there every time they needed him to tonight. And I think that we will see him tomorrow night having to play an even bigger game for GCU if they want to get the sweep.
And folks, we'll bring you the last game of the season tomorrow night here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube with puck drop at 6 p.m. Before we go tonight, I want to say thank you to a very special group of people that helped make this broadcast possible. Our statistician tonight was Johnny V. Our studio engineer back at Network Central, Justine Cooper. And our production extraordinaire, the one and only Dr. Ben Smith. For my partner, Niall Cooper, I'm Brett Vaughn, reminding you of tonight's final score. Grand Canyon beats Arizona State by the score of 4-1. Thank you so much for tuning in, and so long from Mountain America Community Iceplex.
Clear.